Alright, y'all, what the fuck is up, YouTube? It's your boy, Roll Rich. This is my first ever YouTube video and my first ever UFC 272 preview and fucking predictions. Just want to start this off by saying I am not no expert in MMA. I'm not, fucking official. I'm not a judge. I'm not a fucking referee. I've been watching the sport since Tough Season 1 with Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin, so I'm really passionate about the sport. I love it. This is basically my perspective as a fan. Let's get to the preview. So we're gonna talk about some fights that I'm excited about for this card, and also talk about predictions and stuff at the end. First, I'm gonna start with the first fight in the early prelims that I'm most excited about, which is Brian Kelleher, Boom, versus Umar Nurmagomedov. That shit is gonna be dope as fuck. I believe it's gonna be a closer fight than people predict, but I believe, you got a young up-and-coming Umar Nurmagomedov who's trying to make a name, Brian Kelleher, who's a veteran in this shit. I love watching Boom fight. He's a really good fighter. He just won his last fight, I believe. Really funny. I think he tweeted something like he shit in his pants before he fought, and that was pretty fucking funny.
Hey, yo!
I can't wait to see that fight. It's gonna be great. It's great to close the early prelims like that, so you get a great fight for free to end it, and then you also get the prelims, which I'm going to talk about. One of the fights in the prelims that should be on the main card, which is Marina versus Jan Xiaonan. I don't understand why that's not on the main card, because that's a title implication fight. Whoever wins this fight can contend for Rose's belt. So this is a fight that should be on the main card, should be at least opening it. It's a really good fight. You got two good strikers. You got Jan Xiaonan. She's a great fighter. Marina Rodriguez is an animal. She's a beast, bro. Like, if you've ever watched her fight, she has hands. Like, she's a fucking monster, bro. Like, she is a beast. She has hands like no other woman, like, other than, like, you could say Amanda Nunes and now Juliana Pena after she put it on that girl, you feel me? But Marina Rodriguez, she's a problem in that strawweight division. I believe she's gonna just dominate this fight, and that's probably an early prediction before I get to the predictions. But Marina Rodriguez is one of my favorite fighters right now. She has really crisp technique. She doesn't waste punches. Her punches are direct. She's coming at you, and you better be prepared for some fucking heat, because she's not holding down. She's not holding back at all. So I love the way she fights. She's a fucking tough bitch. So I can't wait to see that fight. That should definitely be on the main card. Now I'm gonna get straight to the main card, because there's some good fights on the prelims. Jalen Turner's fighting. Also, Tim Elliott's fighting on the early prelims. That's gonna be a good fight. I don't know the prospect that he's fighting too well. That's why I didn't really want to get into it that much. He is 14-1, the prospect that he's fighting. That's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna focus on the main card, because that's what everybody really fucking cares about, right? The first fight on the main card, which should be a prelim, Greg Hardy versus Sergey Spivac. That should be definitely to close the prelims. But Dana White, I understand, he loves his heavyweights. He loves the swinging and banging, which who doesn't? Heavyweight fights are lit most of the time. But I just believe it's not any, like, both of these dudes just came off of losses. There's no implication that these guys are gonna ever compete in the top 15 of the heavyweight division. Especially Greg Hardy, he's up and coming. He just lost to Tai Tuivasa. There's no shame in losing to Tai Tuivasa. Tuivasa's a beast, but he thinks that he would have caught him eventually. But that's not how this game works. You got caught, you'll probably get caught again by Tai Tuivasa, because there's just different levels, and Ty's been in it for too long. So I just feel like Greg Hardy, they're trying to push him. I understand why they're trying to push him. He's an ex-NFL player. Could create a big name because he already has probably some type of fan base around him through the NFL. But I don't believe that he is that marketable. I'm not gonna say not that talented, because he could knock out a lot of people, but I just don't think for the top 15 in UFC he's gonna knock out a lot of people. I think he's more someone he's gonna lose. I can say my early prediction for this fight. I don't think he's gonna win this fight. I really don't. I think Spivac is well experienced. I think he's gonna close the distance, negate his power, and make sure that he's gonna either out wrestle him, or he's gonna maneuver this way, and then he's gonna make sure that Greg Hardy doesn't have his power behind him and not gonna give them that distance and things like that. So I believe Sergey Spivac is gonna definitely take over this fight. And then I think Greg Hardy I think he should be more of a development right now. I don't think he should be fighting people like Sergey Spivac. Definitely not right now, after his last, I think, 2-3 losses. Let's get to the next fight, which I'm very hyped about. My boy Kevin Holland, big mouth, trailblazer, versus Cowboy Oliveira. That's gonna be a fucking banger. I think it's an underrated fight on this card. That shit's gonna be lit. I think Kevin Holland, his welterweight debut, already be ranked 15th is pretty big for someone who hasn't even fought in welterweight yet in the UFC. So to see him get his first fight at welterweight and be ranked, it's pretty dope. I'm a big Kevin Holland fan. Cowboy Oliveira, he has great striking, he has good jiu-jitsu, he's a great all-around fighter. I just feel like Kevin Holland, he has good jiu-jitsu. I believe he hasn't displayed it yet. He does have good jiu-jitsu. He trains with Travis Lutter, and Travis Lutter is a beast. I believe he does have good jiu-jitsu. I think his wrestling is probably the most suspect thing, but that's because he was fighting at 185, so it's probably bigger body dudes, you feel me? Those dudes are 210 cutting down to, or 205, like around there, cutting down to 185, you know? They're not small dudes, you know? I believe he's gonna have a better chance at being more efficient and better fighter at welterweight because you have smaller people where he can defend better. So I believe, you know, that's gonna be a banger of a fight. Now I'm gonna get to the next fight, Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. That's gonna be a fucking banger. Bryce Mitchell, hell of a fighter. I love watching him fight. But Edson Barboza, one of my favorite fighters. Just love his striking. I love his efficiency with his striking. He's just very talented when it comes to setting up those strikes and just hitting those leg kicks, and just really good at his boxing and all of that. The way he handled Shane Burgos in that one fight and hit him with that one hook that just set him wobbling. He's a great fighter. He's someone that you don't want to be in a stand-up fight with him. You want to take him to the ground, or you want to get him out quick. You don't want to stand up for him for too long. I believe it's going to be a good fight. The next fight will be Dos Anjos versus Renato Moicano, which is a great fight. Wish we would have got the Fiziev fight, because Fiziev is an up-and-coming, could be a title contender at the lightweight division. I think that Dos Anjos, past champion, he's not gonna dominate this fight. I don't think so. I believe he might dominate towards the end of the fight. I believe Moicano is a good, well-rounded fighter too, but Dos Anjos obviously is a really great, well-rounded fighter. He has great ground game. He has good control. He has great striking as well. So he has a very good balance in his fighting game. So I feel like Dos Anjos will take over. He will start reading Moicano's movements and figure him out towards the later rounds, second and third. First round is going to be a very, I feel like, even matchup. I feel like it's going to be closer than what people think. Moicano's lost to some great fighters like Jose Aldo. He's lost to some greats. He's beaten people like Club Swanson. He's beating good people too. He just beat Alexander Hernandez, who was a good up-and-comer, and he finished him. And so he has a talent. So I do believe Moicano can't give him a fight, but I think Dos Anjos' well-roundedness will show and prevail at the end. I believe he's just a good striker. I feel like Dos Anjos just has all the tools to just be a great contender in lightweight division. I feel like he could still be up there. I mean, he's a little bit up there in age, but I feel like for 155, his skill set and how big he is, I believe he could make some real good movement in 155 if he gets the right matchups. Because matching up against Islam, if he would have got that fight this time, Islam's on another level right now. Islam would take him down. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's a tough fucking fight. Islam, I've been watching him since he fucking did that slam against that kid in high school on the channel, fucking the Javier Mendez channel. I remember he flipped some kid with some crazy ass wrestling move, and I was like, bro, that dude's gonna be a problem. I didn't even know he was in the UFC at that point. I think he wasn't, but that dude's a problem. Islam Makhachev's a problem. So Dos Anjos, I'm glad you didn't get that fight, buddy. I wish you would have fought Fiziev instead. That would have been a better matchup for you. But to fight Islam this soon off your first lightweight fight back, it would have been fucking tough. And now let's get to the main fight, the big fight. Probably might be one of the biggest fights this year. I don't know yet, because if Conor fights this year, that's going to be the biggest fight of the year. Because you got two of the biggest stars. You got Masvidal, you got Colby Covington. They're both polarizing as fuck in different ways. Masvidal, I just feel like this fight is going to be fucking way closer than people think. I believe it's going to be way different than what people think. I think people are anticipating a Colby Covington wrestling dominant performance. I believe Colby Covington will mix it up. I believe he will try to mix it up. I believe that he is going to try to pressure Masvidal. But what I also believe is that Masvidal is a great counter striker. And I believe that Colby doesn't have the strength to really put Masvidal out. And that's no disrespect to Colby. I think he is a hell of a fighter. I think that he's a beast. Like, I love his style. He brings a lot of pressure. He has a lot of volume. I think he's going to use that volume and try to like pressure Masvidal, but Masvidal is a non-quit fighter. He's not the dude that's going to quit. He's not the dude that's just going to find that way out. You got to take him out. So I don't think Colby has the capability of really taking Masvidal out unless he gets him on the ground and can smother him for 5 rounds and then win a decision that way. I don't think he has the tools to finish him, even on the ground. I believe Masvidal has great takedown defense, and he has great... When you seen him in the guard with Usman really couldn't do much in his guard. He wasn't really moving with him because Masvidal is great at defending. A lot of hand movement down there, a lot of controlling the wrist. So I believe Masvidal is a veteran in this game, and he knows Colby Covington from their days in AT&T. I believe the wrestling is going to be negated in this fight. I don't believe they're going to get down to the ground. I believe it's going to be a stand-up fight. I believe they're really going to dog it out. Like 1v1, let's really fight. Like there's no fucking wrestling involved. I believe Colby will shoot a couple times, but then when he's denied for more than 3 or 4 attempts, I think he's going to just realize I'm going to have to fake those takedowns and just try to make it look I'm taking him down and try to land some strikes, because I believe Masvidal will be a lot within the striking. So I'm gonna start with my predictions for the main fight, the Masvidal versus Covington. My prediction is Masvidal on the feet will beat Colby Covington. I believe Masvidal will win by a knockout in the 3rd round. I believe he's gonna counter Colby. I believe he's gonna come out with the same aggression he did against Ben Askren and Darren Till. I believe he's gonna get to it. He's gonna get to his chin. I feel like he's gonna finish him within the 3rd round. I feel like it might be sooner, but I think Masvidal is gonna counter him to death. I think he's gonna beat the shit out of Colby Covington with those counters. Colby's gonna keep on trying to come in there with the volume like he usually does. He is crispier. I think he has very crispy boxing. I think Colby has great crispy fighting skills. I think he has great body kicks. He's really good at throwing that volume and landing some shots while throwing that volume, and not just throwing volume just for looks and just to pressure. So Colby will land some shots, but I think Masvidal will land the more significant shots. I believe he's going to counter him well. So I believe Masvidal will win by knockout. So that's my predictions for that fight. The next fight, Renato Moicano versus Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos, I believe he grinds him out in decision, 3 rounds. I believe Dos Anjos wins the last 2 rounds. I believe he dominates those last 2 rounds into a clean decision, probably 30-27 or 30-28. So that's going to be a hell of a fight. I think that Dos Anjos will grind him out. I think the 1st round will be the most interesting part of it. I think Moicano will hit him with some good shots, but then I think that Dos Anjos will adjust and then he will eventually win. The next fight, Bryce Mitchell, Edson Barboza. My predictions for that one, Edson Barboza will win this fight. I think he's going to win by knockout in the 3rd round, similar to the Shane Burgos and him fight. I think that he's going to keep this standing up. It's not going to be similar because they're not both strikers. Bryce Mitchell is someone who's trying to take him down. I think Bryce Mitchell's going to have a tough time taking him down. I don't think he's going to be able to. I think Edson Barboza is a veteran in this game, and I think he knows how to avoid that. So I think he will, and I think he will have Bryce Mitchell at the end of the 2nd, 3rd round just, kind of beat up, and kind of like getting hit with a lot of leg kicks, getting hit with some good counters, and I just believe that he'll eventually finish him in the 3rd round because Edson Barboza is a beast, man. He's only lost to some of the best, I think he fought Josh Emmett last. I don't know who he fought last, but he did lose, or Askar Askarov. No, it wasn't him. Forgot who he fought last, but he did lose. But Edson Barboza is a beast, and I believe that he will stop Bryce Mitchell's run. And I think that Bryce Mitchell's a hell of a fighter. I think this is the right time to step up in competition, but I just feel like Edson Barboza, being the veteran he is gonna really stop that train. I feel like these old veteran fighters are just smart. They just know how to win fights because they've been in the game so long, and I love watching that. The next fight, Kevin Holland, Cowboy Oliveira. I gotta go with my boy Kevin Holland. I'm a fan, first and foremost, and second, I think Kevin Holland, with his range in the welterweight division, it's gonna be hard to deal with that dude. Like he's gonna be hitting them hard and hitting them from a range where you can't really do much unless you really get close up on him. I think the best option for Cowboy Oliveira is to take him down, but in that welterweight division, Kevin Holland is bigger than him by a lot. So he's gonna tower over him. So I don't think that Oliveira is gonna really take him down. He's gonna have to get him on the inside. I think Kevin Holland gets a finish. I think Kevin Holland, his welterweight debut is successful. I think he gets a 2nd round finish on Oliveira who's a hell of a fighter. I love watching him fight. I think he's at the end of his run. Not saying he should retire, but I think the days of him fighting the Kevin Hollands, I feel like he shouldn't fight anyone in the top 15. Cabo Oliveira, great fighter. Love to watch him fight. And then the last fight on the main card, Spivac versus Greg Hardy. Already gave my prediction. To me, honestly, not really even that much interested in that fight, but it's on the main card. I think it really should be a prelim fight just because of the, they both just came off of losses. I know they're heavyweights, but that's like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's going to be Spivac's win. I believe he's going to either grind him out in a decision or finish him within the second or third round. I believe Greg Hardy's going to throw a lot of big winging punches or like some very, very try and knock him out. It's not going to work. I believe Spivac's going to get close, clinch him, and just dominate the fight in that way. I believe he's just a more well-rounded fighter than Greg Hardy, and I feel like he'll figure out a way to beat him, while Greg Hardy only has one way to beat Spivac from watching him fight. The last two fights I'll be talking about is the prelim and the early prelims. To end this, I'll start with the prelims, Marina Rodriguez and Yan Xiaonan, my favorite fight on the prelims, and a fight that I believe should be on the main card. I believe Marina Rodriguez will get the win. I believe she will get it by either a decision or a third round finish, because Yan Xiaonan is a tough girl. She's gonna have her moments in the fight, but I believe Marina Rodriguez will start taking over, will start dominating with her striking. If Yan Xiaonan doesn't try to shoot for a takedown or doesn't try to take her down to the ground, it's gonna be a long night for her. I believe Marina Rodriguez's kickboxing is very, very crisp, and it's hard to just stand with someone who's throwing those straight punches that are really direct. She is a very efficient fighter, so love watching her fight. Can't wait for this fight. I think Marina Rodriguez will take it, and she will be the next contender after the Cookie Monster Carla Esparza fights Rose Namajunas. Obviously, Marina Rodriguez might fight. Honestly, my dream matchup is Marina Rodriguez versus Joanna, because I believe that's a good fight for contendership because of Joanna's name, and Joanna's a beast. So I would love to see that, even though Joanna really came off of loss of Weili Zhang. She hasn't fought in a while. She's a great fighter and a great matchup for anyone, and a good name to get on your resume if you're Marina Rodriguez. But the last fight I'll talk about is the Brian Kelleher versus Umar Nurmagomedov fight. I believe that that's going to be a tougher fight for Umar than a lot of people expect. I believe Umar will win a decision. I believe he will grind him out. I believe Umar, I love Brian Boom Kelleher, one of my favorite fighters to watch on prelims, early prelims. He's a cool dude. He's funny too. I watch his interviews, and when he works with MMA fighting, it's cool. I really fuck with his vibe. Cool dude. I just believe Umar Nurmagomedov and that whole Nurmagomedov tree, to wrestle them, it's hard, bro. So I think he's going to grind them out, and Nurmagomedov will get the takedown eventually. And so those are all my predictions. That's my preview of UFC 272. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me your opinions, your predictions, all of that stuff, what you think about the video. I hope you guys like, share, subscribe, and comment down below your predictions. Also, subscribe to this new channel.